welcome back to Channel 305 News. I am your host, Kayla, and this is my co-host, Ellery.
Hi there, folks. Let's dive into today's topic. This week, we're bringing you our next segment of How My Body Works. This week's topic is all about the ears.
You heard us right, folks. We are going to learn the ins and the outs of those funny things on the side of your head, what they do, how they work to hear sound, as well as why they look the way they do.
Well, let's send it over to the field with our very own hearing expert, Miss Nicole.
Well, hi there, everybody, and thanks for having me on the show. I'm Miss Nicole, and I'm a hearing extraordinaire here at Grand Valley State University, and I'm here to talk about hearing, something a lot of you probably don't think about. As these cars go by, sound has a lot of things to do, and a long process from them traveling down the street, turning into sound waves and going into my ears. So we're going to go into the studio and talk to Miss Kayla and Miss Ellery about how sound works.
Well, Ellery, what do you know about sound waves?
I know that sound waves are a form of energy that need a medium to pass through, and the medium must have mass and stiffness for sound transmission. Sound can travel through solids like steel, liquids, or gases like air.
Wow, I'm impressed. Somebody must be doing their homework. Well, now that we know what sound truly is, Kayla, why do you think ears look the way they do?
Perhaps with sound conduction?
Correctamundo. The pinna, or the cartilaginous portion of your ear that you can see, this has the function of localizing and funneling sound through the concha into the external auditory canal. The external auditory canal is a tunnel-like structure, so overall, the outer ear portion consists of the pinna, the external auditory canal, and the tympanic membrane.
Would this be a good example for the ear canal?
Exactly. Well, the EAC has a few more curves, but this will do for our purposes. The tunnel helps bring sound to the tympanic membrane, and that allows for natural resonance, which looks like this nifty cross-stitch hoop.
So as the sound hits the tympanic membrane, it vibrates and moves it in and out, right?
Exactly. Someone's catching on rather quick. In the middle ear, there are 3 bones. The first of those is the malleus. It is shaped like a hammer. The manubrium of the malleus is connected to the tympanic membrane and allows all the bones to pivot and allows the stapes to move in a piston way. The second one here is the incus. It can also be referenced as an anvil. The bone at the end is the stapes. This can look like a stirrup. At the end of the last bone is the stapes footplate. When sound vibrations are sent through the ossicles, the footplate of the stapes pushes through the oval window. This displaces the fluid in the cochlea, which is the next structure in the hearing mechanism that we are going to talk about.
What is the next portion in this process?
The next portion in the hearing mechanism is the inner ear. The inner ear consists of 2 different portions, the vestibular portion and the cochlear portion. The cochlear portion is the area that focuses on hearing, and that consists of the cochlea.
Can you give us an example of what the cochlea looks like?
Why, yes I can. This towel here rolled up looks just like the cochlea. The cochlea is fluid-filled and has 3 canals. Within the cochlea, there is an organ of Corti, and this has inner and outer hair cells that are called stereocilia. And these little hairs help to transmit nerve impulses through the auditory or acoustic nerve to the brain.
Is this where the process ends?
Okay, good. Not quite. The last structure, the acoustic nerve, or the cranial 8th nerve, is part of the central system, and that brings the impulses to the brain. We have officially arrived at the end of the process. Let's check the whole process of how sound travels from the outer ear all the way to the brain.
Sweet. Can't wait.
This is just too cool.
Well, folks, let's see if these lovely ladies were paying attention. Ladies, let's show the viewers what you've got.
So the sound waves are funneled by the pinna into the external auditory meatus. The sound vibrations then travel to the tympanic membrane, which then vibrates.
The tympanic membrane separates the outer ear and the middle ear. Sounds of lower pitch produce a slower rate of vibration on the tympanic membrane, and sounds of higher pitch produce a faster vibration. On the opposite side of the membrane, we have the three bones of the middle ear, the malleus, the incus, and the stapes.
So the malleus is somewhat connected to the tympanic membrane, and as the tympanic membrane vibrates, the malleus moves and pivots with the incus, and then the incus, which is attached to the stapes, then forces the stapes to move in a piston-like manner on the oval window of the bony labyrinth.
Yes, and then the bony labyrinth transfers the sound to the cochlea, which is fluid-filled. The cochlea then has the organ of Corti inside of it, and that has inner and outer hair cells, and these are stimulated, which then goes through the auditory nerve.
And those hair cells within the organ of Corti then transmit that sound vibration into an electrochemical impulse, which is then sent through the auditory nerve to the brain.
Well, dip me in axle grease and call me slick. These ladies got it. Well, folks, that wraps up my segment. I hope you learned a little bit more about those ears besides the fact that they're on the side of your head. Tune in next week.
Well, folks, you heard it here first. Tune back next week for our next segment of How My Body Works, when we find out if that mole on your face really does need to be checked out.
That's right, folks. You're not going to want to miss this. Thanks again to our expert, Nicole. And we will see you next week, folks. Stay classy, Grand Rapids.